Adam Taxon here on the Sunday morning of the second to last week of the NFL regular season. I'm following up now to update a written piece I did 3 weeks ago called "Is It Racist to Note That the Patriots' Stellar Offense is Overwhelmingly White?" And I'm going to give you all the background you could possibly need on this general subject. I noted then that the 2012 New England Patriots offensive unit had an outside shot at breaking the all-time record for team points in a single regular season. Now, 3 weeks later, including two tough games now in the rearview mirror against the very defensively strong San Francisco 49ers and Houston Texans, and we knew those games were going to be challenges. 3 weeks later, the Patriots have a decent chance at breaking the all-time record for points in a season of 589. And that record is held, by the way, by the 2007 New England Patriots. This year's Patriots even have some chance at being the first team ever obviously, to score 600 points in a season. In the article I wrote, I started out writing, as the saying goes, there are lies, there are damn lies, and there are statistics. And there are also statistics that are politically incorrect to an extent that they're not exactly going to be emphasized by big media and its subsidiary big sports media. My sense is that the so-called mainstream sports media, ESPN in particular, is downplaying the shot that the Patriots, who currently have a 10-4 one-loss record, downplaying the shot that they have at this huge accomplishment. And this is in large part because on that Patriots offensive unit, 9 of the 11 regular starters are white. We'll call it 8+ for the moment, given that tight end Aaron Hernandez is filling in for recovering from injury Rob Gronkowski until the playoffs. And we can note that Aaron Hernandez is apparently half Italian, half Puerto Rican, and based on the George Zimmerman rule, that can certainly be counted as white. But we'll go with 8+. By the way, Puerto Rican heritage is certainly a bit of a rarity in the NFL, and we should also note that Hernandez doesn't exactly look like, say, Boston Red Sox designated hitter David Big Papi Ortiz. But let's go through some of the Patriots' incredible statistics. Led by future first-ballot Hall of Fame quarterback Tom Brady and likely Hall of Fame wide receiver Wes Welker, the New England Patriots offense is averaging 432.4 yards per game, more than 18 more than the next highest team, the Detroit Lions, and 34.5 more than the third highest team, the New Orleans Saints. And that's kind of quirky, by the way. Both the Lions and the Saints are pretty bad this year, after both being in the playoffs last season. The Patriots' total of 506 points is 97 points higher than that of the next highest scoring team, points-wise, the Denver Broncos. At 10-4, the Patriots have won the AFC East Division title for the 10th time in 12 years. In their 11 games this season, here's what the Patriots have scored. 34 points Week 1 against the Tennessee Titans. 18 points in a loss Week 2 against the Arizona Cardinals, who were undefeated with a great defense the first month of the season before their wheels basically completely fell off. Then they scored 30 in a loss to the Baltimore Ravens, always good on defense, though toward the end of the year, this year with injuries, it's not really the case. Then 52 points against the Buffalo Bills, 31 against the formidable Denver Broncos, 23 in a loss to the Seattle Seahawks, who have one of the league's best defenses. By the way, the Seahawks offense has also been on fire lately. Last week, led by their outstanding black rookie quarterback, Russell Wilson, they became the first team in 62 years to score 50 points in consecutive weeks. Anyhow, in Week 7, the Patriots scored 29 against the New York Jets, then 45 against the St. Louis Rams, followed by 37 against the Buffalo Bills, 59 points against the Indianapolis Colts, that's the most anyone scored in a game this season, 49 against the New York Jets, 23 against the Miami Dolphins, 42 against the Houston Texans, who are, by the way, the current favorite in Las Vegas to win the Super Bowl, and then 34 in a loss last week against the San Francisco 49ers, who have the NFL's second-ranked defense. Now, based on those 14 games this season, the Patriots are currently on a pace to score 578 points. Using simple math, that would not break the all-time record of 589 points, a record held by the 2007 New England Patriots, as I mentioned earlier. However, the Patriots offense should coast in their final two games against teams that have really nothing to play for, that are out of the playoffs. The Patriots just put up, as I mentioned, a lot of points against the Texans and 49ers, who are in the NFL's elite, including elite defenses. This week, the Patriots, just a few hours from now, play Tim Tebow's next team, the hapless Jacksonville Jaguars, who have the league's second worst defense. The only worst one is that of the New Orleans Saints, who are playing with one hand basically tied behind their backs, because of coach and player suspensions related to Bountygate. New England should put up plenty of points today against the Jags. The Patriots still have to play for playoff seeding, and the Jaguars are playing to win the number one pick in next year's NFL draft. And the Patriots likely will have to play for playoff seeding and maybe a bye week next week at home against the Miami Dolphins. While the Dolphins have only made the postseason once in the last 11 years, the current Dolphins aren't horrible. They're basically the NFL's definition of mediocrity. However, there's a huge advantage for the Patriots in that game, as the game will be in New England and likely very cold. The Patriots, for obvious reasons, have a big advantage over the Miami Dolphins in cold weather games. And by the way, contrary to what many may think, snow in particular creates a big advantage for the offense over the defense in football, since offensive players, by definition, know in advance what route they're going to be running, while defensive players are covering those routes and have to make adjustments during plays, which is that much harder when snow is coming at you and on the ground. Now, I want to get back to the race thing. I don't feel badly for pointing this out, nor do I feel badly about rooting for the Patriots' overwhelmingly white offensive unit, even though, to be fair, I'm personally probably more Middle Eastern than Caucasian, if we want to put it in categories. Among other reasons that there is no white guilt for me in rooting for the Patriots, football isn't hockey. The league is something like 78% black, and so it is statistically unusual how many white players the Patriots have on their offensive unit. And you know the sports leagues do play up ethnicity when it suits them, and that's fine. Blacks around the country join me and my fellow Philadelphia Eagle fans in cheering during the 1980s and early 90s for Randall Cunningham when he was starting for the team at a time when the NFL had no other black starting quarterbacks. By the way, to go off on a tangent about black Eagles quarterbacks in recent decades, I don't think Donovan McNabb was much embraced by black fans, largely due to phoniness of personality reasons that black fans in particular picked up on relatively early. Michael Vick, out for the season basically now, he remains very popular among blacks, but I won't even touch the psychology there. And I don't want to forget Rodney Peete, another black Eagles starting quarterback, who's a good man and did a solid job for the team in the mid-90s, but it really would be a stretch to call him a star. But blacks around the country loved Jackie Robinson when he came into Major League Baseball and was a star for the Brooklyn Dodgers. I don't need to even get into the history there. And that's cool. Jews around the country got behind Sandy Koufax when he was a star for the Los Angeles Dodgers. In 1981, Mexican Americans totally soaked up Fernando Mania, as a lot of white Americans and black Americans did too. It was great. Fernando Mania, when Fernando Valenzuela tore up the league as a rookie, and I mean really tore it up, he was incredible before the strike, tore up the league as a rookie for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Mid-1990s, Japanese in the U.S. and Japan were totally enthused by Major League Baseball's first Japanese star, Hideo Nomo of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Interesting trend there, by the way. And on remembering Jackie Robinson and how it relates backlash-wise to why it's fun for me and many others to follow the Patriots' very white offense, baseball really goes a bit too overboard with Jackie Robinson celebrations every single April. You know, with every Major League player having to wear Jackie Robinson's number 42 in a game. My sense is that Jackie Robinson, who strikes me as having been rather humble, the guy didn't exactly carry himself like Reggie Jackson, Chad Ochocinco Johnson, or Terrell Owens, Jackie Robinson would probably have been quite uncomfortable with the lengths to which Major League Baseball goes to honor him and not so much the other early black players, who probably would have been perfectly willing to be the first black player in the major leagues too. I find myself saying to myself, how long until they make every player, and I'm joking a bit here, until they make every player wear a Jackie Robinson tattoo for those games. And in baseball, the Phillies at least, teams do things like Jewish Heritage Night, Pacific Islander Night, etc. No problem. I've gone to Jewish Heritage Night at Citizens Bank Park. It's fun, but let's not be too double standardy here. That's all I'm saying. The real issue with all of this, of course, is the media. ESPN in particular. I believe, as I suggested earlier, and I can't prove this, that ESPN may be downplaying the Patriots' offense's accomplishments because of that unit's whiteness. And you know what? With ESPN, they do these things, and then they overcompensate, like they did in the last few days with a 30-day suspension of black on-air contributor Rob Parker for suggesting during a show in which strong opinions are encouraged, he suggested that Washington Redskins star rookie quarterback and apparently stellar human being Robert Griffin III is a, quote, cornball brother. Come on, that's a relatively harmless term, and again, you're supposed to have, on some of these shows, very strong opinions. That sells commercials. But, hey, that's white liberals like the ones at ESPN. That's white liberals for you and the way they treat blacks who make waves. And by the way, don't get me started on Rush Limbaugh being fired for being totally right about Donovan McNabb being overrated. Finally, one other thing to note, congratulations to the 2 black members of the Patriots starting offensive unit for the very solid seasons and contributions they're having and contributions they're making. And those would be wide receiver Brandon Lloyd and running back Stephen Ridley. And Ridley is really emerging as a good player this season. All right, go Patriots.